welcome to today's episode of the Group Therapy Podcast. Today we have returning guest and just all around awesome person, Morgan Thompson. Morgan's got a
I
movie coming out, a bunch of movies coming out. Holy
do
crap.
a lot.
Yes. And
Yes.
one of them is and now become hugely internet famous uh with the Crackoon. I
Oh
remember
my
when it first popped up. I did the Indiegogo. I bought, I think, the DVD or the Blu-ray, one of the two. Oh, this sounds great. And now it's like blowing up because it's insane. But
it's gonna be, I have a feeling it's gonna be my Jason Biggs moment. You know how he's like known as the pie fucker? I'm gonna
yep.
be forever known as the chick that got ate out by the Crackoon. That's just forever gonna be my thing, man. If I ever get to do conventions and stuff, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, you played that one girl in Crackoon," and I'm gonna go, "Yeah, I sure did.
That was me.
That was me."
Now, how you got? Geez, I'm sitting there. I was just looking at your list of everything you're currently working on. The House That Eats Flesh, The First Harvest.
The House That Eats Flesh was years ago, and I don't know what's happening with that one, so I can't even say if it's going to come out because I just don't know with that one.
All right. What about Killer Campout Part 2?
That's Brad Twigg, and he's I'm pretty sure he's like almost done editing. I don't know. I'll have to ask Brad about that.
Yep.
But yeah, that one will be out soon.
You got Dinner with the God of War.
So I didn't get to film my roles as Hecate, or however you want to pronounce it. And Jarrell is like still working on getting back to me about that. He still wants me to do that, but I'm also under the impression that editing has already begun. So I'm not really sure about that one. So I'm leaving everything up for now until I get word otherwise.
Yeah. You got your Friday the 13th fan film. You got the Triple Xmas. And you
oh
have
my god, I'm so excited for it. I'm so excited for Triple Xmas. Oh my god.
You have the best name ever in that movie, Krispy Kreme. Yes.
Krispy Kreme is literally my dream porn star name. I'm probably never gonna do porn, but if I do porn, that's gonna be my name.
So sweet, you give them diabetes?
Absolutely. So sweet, I'm giving diabetes. Oh my god. Bring your insulin.
We got Melancholy, Raccoon, Russell Massacre 2, which I donated to too.
So excited.
Waspzilla, Killer Kong.
I just got finished filming. I just like 2 days ago I got home. No, not even 2 days. Yesterday I got home from filming Waspzilla and Killer Kong in Virginia.
I'm watching all these people. You, Angel, freaking just everybody is everywhere, traveling everywhere to film everywhere at any given time. I was like, where are you at this week? They're like, we're in Illinois. Where are you at next week? I'm in Virginia. Where are you at next week? North Carolina. Where are you at next? Everybody's everywhere.
Yeah. The nice thing is we're all down south, so like, that's pretty cool. I've only had to travel further north twice, I think. So
yeah, it's so I gotta ask, Waspzilla, you just finished in Killer Kong. How did that go?
it went great. I love that I got to spend a week with Angel. She's my favorite. I love working with her. She's so fucking talented. It's like crazy. Like she's going places. That girl is so talented.
I just got done talking to Don the other day because he sent me Debbie Does Demons. So I watched that, did a review of it, and talked with him about it. And then I got another. I'm going to talk with him on Wednesday again for his movie called None Dead. But
I was in None Dead.
He has done nothing but praise you and Angel about how good
love
you're doing.
him. And you have no idea how happy, because like I seriously, I'm gonna cry. I've watched this man's movies since I was a kid. Like Dorm of the Dead was, I'm 25, so like that was peak childhood horror for me when that came out. That was a big deal. And like my dad has always been such a big fan of B movies. So like Donald's name was like a staple in our house. And having the opportunity to work with him, and then he wants to work with me again, and he actually enjoys working with me. And like it's not just, you know, the run of the mill compliments which are equally I'm like amazing and I'm grateful for. I mean, he digs in depth and like tells me the things that he likes about me. And I'm like, oh, man, that's what I appreciate about you.
Okay. That Don is one of my favorite interviews. That guy, one is that he's information he has in his head, all the movies that he's worked on, everything, and then we talk, and now it's like, oh, you know, I know this person, and this person he tells me, and he's like, oh, I love working with them. I can't wait to work with them. Like he was telling me about how much he loved working with you and Debbie Does Demons, how he's ready to work with you again on some more movies, and I'm like, yeah. I was like, it's you. Watching Debbie Does Demons, you can tell everybody was just having a really good time.
Oh, such a blast to film. I mean, and I had so many firsts, and he coached me through quite a few things, and it was a dream. It was a dream as a new actress coming back into, you know, doing movies after so long. It was amazing.
Yeah, he's a blast, and he's it's funny because he'll message me, and he was like, hey, I got another movie, or hey, I want this person. I'm like, yeah, sure, I will, hell yeah, we'll do interviews. And
that's how he messages me. He messaged me about a role for his new movie, and that's exactly how it went. He was like, hey, I've got a role for you. This is what you're going to be doing. I've already made the announcement. I'm going to be sending you the script. And I'm like, oh, okay, Donald.
He sends me a message the other day, and he goes, hey, I want to do an interview, and I'm like, okay, let me figure out what day we can do it. And I'm like, hell yeah.
I love him. He's the best.
And he's just a fountain of information, just that I didn't know. And I'm like he's explaining to me, like I was a manager at a video store. I didn't know that, you know, DVDs, they put the name on a certain way so you can see it from an aisle over and all this stuff. And he has it set up so that it shines better at Walmart, and then it's supposed to look good. And he goes, even video stores. I'm like, I didn't know that. I mean,
wow.
he man, and knows his stuff big time.
Yeah, talking to him about movies was kind of like I for someone who is, I guess, as young as I am, I've always been told I'm kind of like an old soul. So I know a lot, and I am hardly ever able to be graced with someone's presence that they know a lot more than me. And like getting to talk with him was like, wow, I have to write a list of all these freaking underground movies that I have never even heard of. What the fuck is even that one about? Oh my God. And it's in another language? Okay, noted. Like,
we were talking about video store stuff and about his movies being in video stores, or you know, and I was sitting there, I was like, yeah, and I go, he goes, well, I don't think any of my movies were ever available in Hollywood Video. And I'm like, I know they were. And he goes, how? I was like, because I worked there, I bought them off the shelf. I own them. They're still in my collection over there somewhere.
Oh my God, I haven't seen a Hollywood Video in
I think they've been
wow, it's been a minute.
Yeah, I think they've almost all been gone.
Yeah.
In like the last 10 years, almost all of them.
Yeah, I was a kid because my mom used to work not at Family Video. I think it was Hollywood Video, and I was a little girl, and I would like on snow days and shit, I would have to go like stay with my mom at work, and all I would do is like sit and watch movies. So I mean, that's been forever.
Oh yeah. You're
Can you open one up with like a fake like a fake name, like a different name? Can you open up a video store under like a pseudonym or some shit, whatever the word is?
You could, what you should do is like Hollywood, and then spell wood as like you would do something instead of it's Hollywood.
I love that, and that's also a good porn star name.
Holly,
because
oh yeah,
Holly definitely would.
Well, because that was named after Kim Basinger's character in the movie Cool World. Hollywood, if she could.
I love that movie so much. I know that a lot of people don't enjoy it, but I quite do.
I used to have the T-shirt when that movie came out that said Hollywood if she could, and it had Hollywood on the front of it. So
I'm like envy. I listen. I don't know where everyone finds all these cool fucking shirts, but they need to hook me up.
this one, it took me forever to find. I got the Hex Girls T-shirt from Scooby Doo and the Witch's Ghost.
I love Scooby Doo and the Witch. Like that is my favorite. And I know that this is probably people are gonna be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" It's an animated role, but like that is my favorite Tim Curry role, and that's because that was the first time I was ever introduced to him as a little girl. I like my dad was like, because I remember him being like, "You like watching this movie on repeat
Yep.
because you like hearing this guy talk. Let me show you." I think what is it called? Darkness.
Yeah, in Legend.
Yeah, Darkness. Legend. Yes. Oh my God. And I remember watching that and I loved the devil. So then he was like, let's introduce you to rock. And it just like domino effect. I kept going.
Him, and the worst part about it is when I was a kid, when Legend came out, so geez, I remember seeing it in the theater. So I was maybe junior high, maybe. And I didn't even realize it was Tim Curry because he's in that the devil horns.
It's that mouth. I hyper fixate onto people's mouths. Like I love how people talk and I know it's him by his mouth and his teeth. That's how I knew. And his voice. Like I just as a little girl, I immediately knew it was him.
When he walks out, when he's like his whole big speech with there is no light without darkness. You're just like, oh damn, dude, you're so awesome.
Dude, he's so freaking cool. Like what's it like to be so cool, dude? Oh my God, it's so rad.
He doesn't even try. He doesn't even seem like he tries. He just like, I'm Tim
Just
Curry.
exudes it.
Yes,
It's just oh.
Oh,
As kids would say, he has Riz.
He's that tells you how old I am. I have
no. I'm learning new words from all of these, like, because at the club, there's a lot of younger girls and they say all these words from like TikTok, and I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Because we just said dudes had game when what it's he's got game. What the fuck is Riz? What do you need to change? Why are we changing the word? Oh.
I've actually started going back and using old slang just to screw with you. I always say, man, I dig that cat. And they're like, what?
Looking around, what cat?
What cat? This cat over here, man. He's a good dude. What?
I love that so much.
Went backwards instead of forward. I'm regressing and becoming the old man I actually am.
Honestly, I kind of like old-timey talk more so than the shit that kids say these days, because half of it doesn't make any sense. I mean, more power to you. If you guys are developing your own little code language, love that for you, Picasso. I, however, don't expect me to know what you're saying because I'm never gonna learn. I don't know what this is.
I remember the first time it was like, I need to look that up.
Yeah. Oh my God. I've done that at work before. Like when I'm talking, like these 21-year-old dudes will come in and they'll be like chitter chattering. And I'm like, how do you spell that? That on Urban Dictionary? Was that? Hold on. Give me a second. I gotta look that up. What the fuck is that? Oh, that's what that is. That's disgusting.
Yeah, no. Okay.
Yeah. Ew, there's a word for that. Gross.
Oh my God. Well, it's bad is that I'm around younger people like a huge chunk of my time running my shop. And these guys are like fresh out of high school or, early college years or whatever. And I'm like, I'm older than like, I'm finding out that I'm like older than their parents. And that makes me feel even older.
Oh, nothing makes me more uncomfortable than when I'm at work and the young girls like try to flirt with me. I'm like,
well, my wife and I were driving up to Michigan a while back, and I was like, they need a strip club that the women are like 30 and 40.
I like the idea of having so when I danced in Florida, there was a gentleman's club and it was like for older gentlemen. I don't remember the exact age, but like you couldn't get in if you were under this age. You had to be this age or older to get into this establishment. And I loved it. And the girls were like, had to be 21 and up to work there. They didn't hire 18, 19, 20-year-olds, which I love because I personally don't think you should be stripping at that young of an age. I think you should give yourself some time, think about it, and then do it. Or jump right in and do it. I don't care either way, but you know.
It's weird. And I haven't been to a strip club in, God, I know it's going bad, closing in on 20 years. So
Well, they're definitely a lot different. So they're so much different. I'll tell you that right now. The money is different. The girls are different. The dancing is different. The environments are different. It's not selling a fantasy anymore. Like when I started dancing 6 years ago, I got into this because it was like you would do dress up every night and you would like play a role and you would get on stage, like shake your ruler and like bring your glasses down to tell them they've been a naughty boy, you know? Like now it's just girls. Like, I mean, I see girls get up there and they just shake it. It's just like a fucking tambourine. And I'm like, I can't do that. My back hurts. I have to dress up. I can't twerk.
see, I think that works more because I mean, you can watch any girl, you know, I hate to say this, shake their butt, whatever, but if you get that fantasy with the, you know, costumes.
Well, that's what you're selling with
That's,
a strip,
yes.
a strip club. You're supposed to be selling a fantasy to these men, you know, and I don't think I think TikTok and the internet and stuff, they've like washed it out and like they do this rose-colored romanticization of the job, and it's just really going downhill in a lot of places because of that kind of situation. So it sucks. Half the time I can't even get away with wearing cute outfits like that on stage because like there are nights where guys appreciate it, but then if you get a group of young guys in there, they could literally care less what I have on. They care about how fast I can make my butt meat move. And I'm like not very fast because I'm a grandmother. Scoliosis.
It's one of the ones where like I said, I have been one forever. I started asking people, it's like, because they went to clubs. I'm like, so I'm talking to the guys that come in the shop. I'm like, what kind of music do they play? I'm like, because frankly, I was like, some of the music, I'm old. So it's like, it's garbage music, man. Fuck that music.
I dance to a hot mix of everything. I have TikTok music that has somehow managed to infiltrate my brain and I like it. And then I also have like my anime music and like my music that's in other languages. And then I also have my like music that I prefer to dance to all the time, which is old school stuff. I like to dance to Bush, Live, Deftones, A Perfect Circle, Nine Inch Nails, all that jazz.
I remember going to clubs and lots and lots of Nine Inch Nails was played.
Oh yeah. And they're my favorite band. Why am I fucking pulling a blank here? Typo Negative. I danced to so much Typo Negative, and
Typo
like
Negative
that is like,
so awesome.
oh my god. Listen. Speaking of Typo Negative, Derek just texted me, and I found out on the set of Triple Xmas that this guy does not like Typo. That's the noise that I made. That's the noise that I made. Thank you.
I gotta give him shit.
You fucking should. You know what? You should give him shit. Tell him I sent you.
I've seen him 5 times in my life. And
Who? Derek or Typo?
Typo.
Ah!
I've seen them.
Did you get to meet him? Did you get to smell him?
No, I've never got to meet him though. I've stood next to him and like.
What do he smell like?
Sweat. I don't remember. Because he's so, but he's like, you're like, he's what, like
I know.
7? He's like, oh my god, he's almost a foot taller than me. So
how tall is he? Will you look it up right now?
But now my son Joe is 23, and he's really into Typo Negative now.
Good, you raised him right.
And it's funny. He's like, man, he goes, if I could go back, he goes, there's one band I would love to, and I was like, I wish I could have took you, bud. I was like, but literally the last time I saw them, he was a baby. So
yeah, because Peter Steele died like I think I was in diapers still.
That seems about right. It's let's see here. But what's funny is that when I discovered typo negative of all things, I went and there was a free show here in Dayton, and it was Jackal, typo negative, and Richie Kotzen.
I really want to fucking hit ya, you know, because like, what's it like to live my dream? I love Jackal. I dance to them all the time. I do not care. She loves my cock.
I've seen them like 4 times, I think.
I saw them live in a dive bar, I think. Yeah, that was the same night that I. So Brett Michaels did a charity show in Bucyrus, and it was like a benefit show, and it was him alone, and it was acoustic guitar. But then also Jackal was there, and I only got to see a little bit of it because we had to leave. We had to go. I was like 16 or 17 at the time, and I was dating a guy, and the mom did not really appreciate the sounds of chainsaw.
Well, shit, I went and seen, like I said, saw them. I just saw last year we went to a go see Perturbator up in Detroit, and it was Perturbator and Health, but the opening act is, well, I can't remember who the opening band was, but that dude plays a chainsaw too.
I love any if you just I something about trashy men like that. I just love them. I don't like Kid Rock is such a piece of shit. I swear to God he is. But when he was doing that ball with the ball phase, Little Morgan loved that. I used to ask my dad for the Boogie song all the time.
I just I've never seen him.
Kid Rock?
Never seen Kid Rock ever.
I don't think that you ever should, because it's just, I mean, if you were ever going to see Kid Rock, you probably should have seen him in the early 2000s when he was doing that rock hip hop bullshit.
Yep, 6'8". He is just shy as a foot taller than me.
So he is a whole foot and some inches taller than me. Wow.
One of the times I saw him, he was touring with Danzig. So it was literally like,
oh my God. I know that the dynamic is just different, but I bet, you know, you could. All right. So we're going to Chinese finger trap. Yeah. Yep.
And people look at me now because, like I said, the old joke is, what is it? I may be old, but I got to see all the good bands first. I got to see all the good bands.
I like that.
I've seen Pantera. I've seen Sepultura. I've seen Slayer. All these bands that either don't exist anymore or retired or.
I saw Slayer and I got riggedy wrecked. I got wrecked. They do not care about gender in their pits at all, which is fine because I don't care about gender either. But you gotta let me know beforehand. You can't just.
I had.
Oh my God.
I had a boot print, like right here, from a Slayer pit. I got kicked in the head with a pair of it was a heel. I got kicked in the head in the pit, and it was there for like 3 days. And it was rough.
I don't know if I would have. Well, I have a tiny melon, so I feel like it probably would have killed me. They would have kicked me in the head, and then I would have been just deceased. I had a really bad experience in their mosh pit. I don't really like to mosh, I guess.
See, I'm too old now. Because if I get injured, it doesn't heal.
You're like, if I fucking could, I would.
Oh yeah, dude, I'd be in a pit in a heartbeat.
I just am not that kind of gal. I don't know. Okay, so I went into the Coheed and Cambria pit with my mom, which obviously Coheed and Cambria is not that pity. But there was one, believe it or not. And I will never forget this ginger guy pushing my mother out of the way to get up to the bar, like the rail.
Yeah.
And my mom picked this little dude up with one hand and fucking set him down and was like had a hold of him, and she was like, "You are not gonna fucking do that again, buddy boy," and took pictures of him and shit. Like, my God, I'm not built for this. What the fuck?
Well, it's funny because my wife, we met technically for the first time, and we didn't know it at Skid Row Pantera.
Oh, that's romantic. You guys
She
make
was in front of me and my buddies, and we were at Hair Arena in Dayton, and they put plywood down on the floor because they had ice underneath it,
oh,
and you would have to sit
I
on
would
that,
help.
and then they would get up and they would get behind the barricade, and they'd tell everybody to get up and everybody lunge forward. So you have to sit there on that ice on that plywood, and I'm sitting there and my butt's starting to hurt because I'm sitting on frozen plywood. And I go,
Uh,
what? I go, man, my ass hurts. My buddy goes, tell everybody. I'm like, my ass hurts. And my wife's up front and she goes, so does ours. That was the first time we technically met. We didn't meet again
that's so cute.
for like another year, almost 2 years, when she walked into my comic book store. And then it was from then on, me and her been together since 1993. So
You
30
guys give me hope. Maybe someday I will find love.
she that woman has put up with a level of bullshit that no woman should ever have to put up with. But as we say, she gets me at my best only because she's had me at my worst. My absolute worst. I was not a good person for years, and she's managed to stick out with me and make me a better person. So I love her
Someone
to death.
with EPP, I completely get it. I completely understand that. That's really cute. And I love that for you guys
Oh
and
yeah.
your little cookies.
Yep. And my puppies are here. We got our 4 boys, and that's what's funny is you're talking about how old you are. I'm like, God, you're I have 2 boys older than you and 2 boys younger than you. But
I'm at that ripe age where like I'm not young, but I'm not old just yet. Like when I tell that come into work that I'm 25, they look me up and down and they're like, and I'm like, what? Leonardo DiCaprio? What? Is 25 too freaking young for you or too old for you? Like I thought that maybe you were like younger. Thank you, but rude. I'm not dead yet. Christ, we're not in the 1800s. We don't live to 30 and then die, you dick.
live right up to the ripe old age of died in childbirth.
Yeah, fuck's sake, man.
It's like today I had somebody look at me and they're like, we're talking, they're like, how old are you? I was like, yeah, my birthday's here in a few days. I was like, I'll be 49. And they're like, you're 49? I'm like, yeah, you don't look 49. I'm like, thank you. I was like, my hairline and my gray in my beard tells me otherwise, but yes, I am.
People are so bad at telling age these days. I'm usually pretty good at it. I wouldn't have guessed 49. I would have guessed like 42.
Hey, thank you. I
You're
mean,
very welcome.
yeah. And although I hate to say this, I started taking better care of myself now, so I think I kind of regressed it a little bit.
Hey, that's a thing. You can pick up the slack at any point in your life as long as you're not super old and wrinkly.
Well, it's like I looked at a picture of me from a few years ago. My face is all fat and bloated and stuff like that. And I found pictures of me standing up with my kids. I'm like, what the hell happened? And then I'm like looking, I was like, I ran into somebody I haven't seen in like, I think like 3 years. And they're like, what happened to the rest of you? I went, what? And they're like, you lost a ton of weight. And I was like, yeah, I work out all the time now. I was like, I went from when I first started going to the gym, I was like almost 250. And now I'm setting about 175, 180. And
Oh, that's a lot of weight loss. Wow.
I bust my ass to get where I'm at now. And it's hard when you're almost 50 to lose that much weight.
Yeah, and your body doesn't recuperate as fast as it did when you were younger. So like I'm sure that soreness after a gym workout is a bitch and a half.
Well, not so much anymore because I've got it. I've got my
Yeah.
workout figured out and everything else like that. It's when I do shit outside the gym is when I injure myself. Last weekend we had our comic book show here in Piqua, and at the end of the day, I have to load up everything, put it in a van, and then I have to break down all the tables and put them away for the mall that we were at. So I'm just grabbing tables, flipping them up over my head, and throwing them onto the thing. Didn't think nothing about it. Later on that night, I'm like, oh, I can't move my shoulder. I couldn't get comfortable, and then finally I get comfortable, And I fall asleep on the couch, and my wife's like, "Where were you?" And I was like, "I was comfortable. I didn't want to move."
Oh my God. When I go back to work after like being gone for a week or whatever, I hurt myself so bad. Because I don't, even when I'm working a lot, I don't really do a lot of pole work. And outside of work, I don't really do a lot of pole anything because it's a job. No
Mm-hmm.
one brings work home with them, really,
No.
honestly. And it sucks so bad. I mean, I'll do this one thing. It's called a ballerina, and you like whip yourself out and around the pole, and it's just like it's so much. And then the next day, I can feel it up in like the back of my blades back here, and I want to die. Then I can't lift my arm for 3 days past like here, so I'm trying to like give dances and be sexy like this, like a T-Rex. I'm like, yeah, you like these Roger arms?
I'm out in the full T-Rex inflatable costume.
Sometimes I forget that I'm at work and I have the Roger arms where like if I'm comfortable and I'm just walking around my house, I'll just walk around like this. Doop, 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 doop. You know, and I'll forget that I'm at work sometimes, especially if I've like had a few drinks, and I'll walk around with my fucking Roger arms with my little purse in my hand. Just, would anyone like a dance?
So I have to ask, are the strip bar DJs still as corny as they used to be back in the day? You might probably don't even remember.
So I'm not sure what they were like back in the day, but they still do the whole like, welcome to the stage, the mesmerizing Mina.
See, I DJ'd one night at a strip bar. Legitimately, me and my buddies were just hanging out there, just wasting time. And one of the dancers and the DJ were dating, and they got into a huge fight, and the DJ walked out. And
Oh, our club is so small. Even if that happened, they wouldn't be able to walk out because we don't have enough employees. They'd be stuck working together.
I mean, this dude just walked out. He just, whatever, I'm out. And he stepped out and gone. And we knew a bunch of the people that worked there. And he's like, does anybody know how to DJ? And I'm like, I have.
Does
And so I'm
anybody
like,
know how to DJ?
and I'm like, I knew how to do all the, the stuff and all that. And he's like, you want to work tonight? And I was like, fuck, why not? Whatever. And he goes, tips, beer, whatever.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was a drinker. I was an alcoholic at that time.
See,
So you're
that's
just
my
like, and I'm down, but I'm turned into the stereotypical strip bar DJ at the time. So I was like, hello, let's welcome Cheyenne to the main stage while Cherokee takes and I turned into that guy.
Yeah, they all sound like that. That has never changed.
That has
It's
never
that's
changed.
literally how and when they bring us all out, like so in bigger clubs, especially in Florida, they did this thing that I like to call a cattle call, which is where we would all line up behind the curtain, and then they would be like, all right, gentlemen, we've got a 2 for whatever dance special, pick your girl. And you like had to walk out, and you had to like flip your hair and fucking flirt with them, and then you had to walk down and go around on the floor and find a guy. It was, if I could just go to work and not have them do that, that'd be great.
I mean, I hate to say this, but I couldn't imagine a strip bar in Florida.
Oh, it was phenomenal. And I say that with heavy sarcasm. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Florida is not my favorite state. Florida and Texas are my 2 states that I am just not big on.
My wife keeps trying to talk to me. I was like, nah, I could go the rest of my life and never step foot in Florida, and I'd totally be fine with that.
I did a month and a half of being down there when I was in a really bad relationship, and I stripped to survive, to take care of him and myself. And it was hot and sticky, and I mean, people are just as a woman, I would not recommend stripping in Florida. The men are a different breed of nasty. Like, I've never been assaulted so much in my life, honestly, than when I danced in Florida. Like, the majority of my trauma comes from Florida clubs.
Jeez.
Like, it's bad. And I had girls in probably 2 weeks ago or something. Some girl was coming in and applying, and she was like, yeah, I used to live in Florida and we danced there, and it's like not nude and all this other shit. And I wheeze laughed. I laughed like the Muttley guy that
that
because I was like, are you what part of Florida did you dance in, ding dong? Or were you just disassociated the whole time? Like, it is pussy out everywhere. I want to know where she worked because I want to know why I didn't apply there.
Well, it was a whole different world. Like I said, back when I went, and legitimately, one of my best friends worked the front desk at a strip bar in Troy, and he was during the day. They had the toy shop in the front, and then the bar in the back. And at 6 o'clock, then they would open up the strip club, and then you had to go through there.
Yeah.
Well, I was there so much because I was my buddy's ride almost every day. So I'd pick him up from work, take him home, or we worked together at Hollywood Video, or I'd pick him up and then we would go back to work. And so I got to know all the girls that worked there. I got to know the owners. I mean, I've legitimately went to a New Year's Eve party for the guys that own Diamonds in Dayton.
Oh, I was gonna dance. So I danced in Dayton and I danced at Lust.
I don't even know where that is anymore.
Um,
The only
it
one
has like big purple lights.
I know, the only two that I know still exist are Diamonds and Cheeks. Are the only
I
two
don't
that.
say. Oh, hold on now. It might have been. It might have been Cheeks, and I'm thinking of Lust in Toledo.
But oh my god, I got to know them, but we got invited to their New Year's Eve party. So it's like me and my wife and my buddy, and we're there, and it's like they pull up and they're like, we're going to valet park your car, and I'm like, I'm driving up in a piece of shit minivan. They're parking freaking Ferraris and all these nice cars. And I'm like, dude, so my car's shady. So when you put the key in, you turn the key, hit the button under the steering column, and the car will start.
I love the cat behind you.
Which one?
It's above the comic book. Yes, that
That,
thing right there. Yep, I've been That's why I leaned in really close and I made a face because I was watching it swat something.
that's Maisie. That's
Yep.
Mazikeen. That's my cat.
She's in the show right now, honestly.
She's great. She's my cat. My wife's
She's
cat
adorable.
is Lucy, and she's around here somewhere. That's my cat is Mazikeen, and her cat is Lucy Purr. So
I follow a haunt actress that has the name Lucy. It's Lucy Fur, I think it is, and she
mhm.
works at Haunted Hoochie. I don't know if she still does anymore after all the shit that went down there, but last I saw, she was a Haunted Hoochie like frequent actor, and she was on the cover of like Fangoria and shit. Really cool chick.
Damn. I've heard the name online, but yeah, all because we were watching the TV show Lucifer when we got our cats. So
I
that's
love that.
how that's how our I that's one of my favorite shows. I legit own one piece of screen worn costume from Lucifer.
My mom is gonna want to smell it.
It's not his. It's not any
Oh, never mind.
it's
Okay.
it's the zombie wedding episode that starts out with the wedding where they're all dressed up like
Yeah.
zombies. There's a girl in the audience, she's wearing a white dress, and she's I have the dress that she's wearing.
Oh, I love that.
So it's all framed up and up at my shop, which I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put it now because it's kind of big and heavy. So, but I own a piece of for Lucifer television series. That's my
That's
thing.
awesome.
So, and although I my friends went up and met Tom up in Michigan up at Motor City Con, and I was like, "Is he cool?" And they're like, "Why?" I was like, "Dude, 'cause I don't think I would have it in me if I found out he was a dick." So
I try not to ask people that anymore because I found out about quite a few of my like super favorites. And yeah, it's like really disheartening to find out your heroes are actually assholes. I wouldn't say assholes. I guess peculiar on what kind of things you talk about with them.
yeah, because I'm a friend of mine works for Shutter now. He's a friend. He knows Derek too. I asked him one day because he's the one that got Bone Tomahawk for them, and I was like, he met Kurt Russell. I'm like, is Kurt Russell cool? And I was like, if he's cool, say yes. If he's not, just say I'd rather not talk about it. And I'm like, Man, I don't know if I would be able to find out Kurt Russell was a dick.
I think I would be okay because if he was mean to me, I'd still like it.
You see?
I'd be like, anything you say. God
Yes.
bless, you're beautiful. Have mercy.
Oh my God, that would be me if I would have got to meet Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher could have told me I was the biggest piece of shit ever, and I'd be like, okay, I am.
He
Thank
would
you.
spit on me and I would say thank you.
We had a discussion that legitimately I tell my wife, I was like, there's only one woman there, you're number one, and number two was Carrie Fisher.
She's probably like, you know what? Honestly, same. My list is the same.
Yeah.
So
I was like, I've been in love with Carrie Fisher my entire life, and that's not even a
I
remote
think
joke.
every nerdy boy from the 80s loves Carrie Fisher. It's kind of a staple given.
Oh yeah,
And
and the
if they
funny
don't
part,
like Carrie Fisher, I ask what's wrong with them. I'm like,
well,
you're a serial
it's
killer or something, I bet.
people are like, well, she got kind of fat, and I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. That's Carrie Fisher.
What
Fuck, she was
the hell
awesome.
is wrong with people? She got kind of fat. Well, you know what, buddy? Your hairline is at the half court right now. So, like, maybe you
Yeah,
ought not be talking.
fucking bald bullshit. I know what it's like. I know what it's like.
That's the first thing I go for when guys try to say stuff like that. I'm like, your hairline is talking a lot louder than you are, and you need to stop.
But Carrie Fisher was one of them ones though. I didn't even know. I was little. I was like 3 when I first saw Star Wars. And then 4 is when they brought the reissue back in 78. And I was a kid and I didn't even know. And I was already in love with this woman. I mean, I was like, she's the best thing ever. You know, it's like
That's me and Bruce Campbell. I've
yep.
just
Bruce Campbell.
since I was in diapers, I've been watching The Evil Dead, and I love that movie. I love that man, but he's married.
I just scored the Groovy collection the other day. Somebody brought it in the shop, so I have the Groovy collection. But it's Evil Dead 2, and then Ash versus Evil Dead.
See, I want to own all of Ash versus Evil Dead. I have everything except for that. See, actually, I have the first bit of Ash versus Evil Dead, but I would like to have it all.
I got the really nice box set. I'm getting ready to sell my extra Blu-rays and stuff, but I only have season 1 of Ash versus Evil Dead. So
I don't have anything that plays Blu-rays. I am old school. I have a DVD player that plays all of my weird hentai that I order from Japan.
See, I have one of those, but mine also plays Blu-rays.
Mine doesn't play Blu-rays. Mine just makes sure that my porn plays.
Because I watch weird one, anime that doesn't come out here in America right away. 2, horror movies that are out of print in the United States. You can still get them over Europe for like next to nothing.
Yep.
I bought my wife Ghost Town, and if you were to buy the American Blu-ray of it, it's like $200. But you can buy like the exact same Blu-ray with the exact same stuff on it from England for $20.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's how it is for a lot of anime and stuff. I'm in a lot of like forums and stuff. I like chat with people and use my wily woman ways to get people to send me stuff from overseas, shit that I like would never be able to find over here. And they're always like, it didn't even cost me anything. The shipping cost me more than getting the actual product. And I'm like, what's it like, bud? Because over here that shit's like $500 without the shipping. So
well, I hate to say this, I'm milking I talked to this one fan on my Saturday morning serial show. She lives over in the Netherlands. And so I'm always looking for like the European release of toys or like comic books and stuff. And I grew up, I love the Marvel Secret Wars figures. They're super basic, but there were they had the black suit Spider-Man, all that shit before anything else, Wolverine. Well, they have 3 figures that were only available in Europe, and that's Electro, Iceman, and Constrictor. And I had to sell mine off when I was a little kid because my mom, was like, we're moving. And I was like, I gotta sell my shit. So I'm tired. She's like, oh, I think I can find one. Those are cheap around here. And I'm like, probably because you're in Europe and they're not gonna be.
Oh my God, I would have been like, get me 3 and I'll give you money right now. I need 1 to open, 2 to keep.
And I did have somebody send me their Robotech collection. So I have some Robotech toys that they just sent me. I'm
Dang it,
like,
they're
you're awesome. So
sorry. I have a wonky little there we go, ring
oh,
light.
see,
So if anyone's watching this and they want to replace my ring light, have an Amazon wish list and a new one is on there. Please God help me.
I got my patrons. I was like, hey guys, I need a new computer. And so they're
A new ring light. It's not even a computer. I couldn't imagine.
they bought me this chair.
They
Uh
would be like, "Can you put something larger than your toy in your ass, or we're not getting you a laptop?" And I'd be like, "Well, looks like I'm not getting a laptop, so
no.
I
So
bet you don't have to show your taint for your little gaming chair there, buddy."
that's true. I
Yeah,
don't have to show nothing.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I couldn't imagine trying to do all that. I mean, because
I
I
couldn't
don't.
imagine how crafty those nudes would be because I'm sure they'd be funny.
Oh yeah. Oh my god. I couldn't. I know how creepy guys can be. That's the worst part. I was like, I
Oh,
couldn't.
you would be like, if I was gay, I would just be straight. Oh, they're terrible. Why are they saying these things to me? Women are just as bad, though. Let me tell you. They wait a little while longer. They get you in and then they hit you with the wild shit. Like, let me pee on you. And I'm like, wait a minute. Whoa, oh my God. What?
Wait a minute. How hot is she? Wait a minute. What?
Well, like, sometimes you got to dig through the profile pictures a little bit. And then if it's reasonable, I might consider.
Well, oh my god. I'm at uh, Comic Con. I'm at Gem City Comic Con a few years back. God, it's more than a few years now. I'm dressed up as Red Hood from Batman. So I have the mask on. I got the jacket, the Batman, the hoodie. I've got all the guns and everything on. You can't see anything. I mean, literally, my beard is braided up and tucked inside of a.
That is a kink, by the way. Just letting you know that this everything you're describing right now is a category on Pornhub. But continue.
Yeah. And I'm walking by, and I this woman just reaches down and just grabs a big handful of my butt. And here's the thing: I don't have a butt.
I was
I'm a flat ass. I'm the first one to admit it. And she just went boom. She goes, I gotta get a piece of that. And I turned around, I was like, the hell? And I was like, you don't even know what I look like underneath this. I said, I could be a complete freaking troll underneath this, and you're just like, I'm like, I could have went and been like, you know, but
you should have done that and been like, this is my strong hand.
but
No, consent is so important. I'm so glad you said butt though, because I thought you were gonna say a handful of your dick, and I was gonna be like, you punched
no,
her, right?
nobody's done that yet. Not doing that. Nobody's. And the worst part about it is that last year I took my youngest son trick or treating. I did full Spider-Man. That is the skin tight suit, and I'm kind of fit, but I got the waist thing on, so my gut.
Yeah, how dare you leave the house dressed like a whore and expect people to not sexualize you, bro? The fuck is wrong with you? Come on.
The worst part about it is I couldn't see shit. The eye holes in that thing are like this big, so I'm like walking around. I'm like literally holding on to my wife. Everybody wants their picture taken. Everybody. I'm like walking around taking pictures with little kids I can barely see. And then I have adults like, can I get a picture? I'm like, yeah, all right, man. Here we go. I'm like, I don't like.
I don't like people, so I would have. That's my biggest fear about going to cons and stuff is like I'm gonna dress up and people are gonna see me and they're gonna be like, Bulma, and I'm gonna be like, oh no, it's not Bulma.
You, one of my favorite animes is Sorcerer Hunters. Love that anime. And the anime is different than the manga, but they do have the one anime that is closer to the manga than the rest of the anime. And we were at OhioCon and forever ago, and there's a girl, and she is chocolate. So she's just got the suspenders glued to her nipples so that it doesn't fluctuate anywhere. And she's walking around the convention, and I'm like, you are a brave brave girl, because there are some creepy fucking dudes here.
Oh my God. When I went to horror conventions, like horror round and shit, I make a note. Like if I don't, I'll dress cute sometimes if I'm going with like a man in the group. But if I'm going with, like when I went with my mom to meet Richard Brake, no makeup, nothing too scantily clad, tennis shoes in case I gotta run, because men will, my biggest thing is like men will look at me and I can tell when they realize who I am and where they know me from. And that's when it becomes an issue, because I'm like, now you're going to follow me around because you're too scared to ask me like my name and if it's really me, which like in actuality, it's less creepy for you to come up to me and be like, oh my God, I love your work. I love watching like your content, whatever the fuck it is that you like want to say to me that you're too shy to say.
Yeah.
And it makes me so uncomfortable because they just like, they'll just stare at me like it's like a lion watching its prey. Like I know the thoughts that are going through your mind. I am definitely not dumb. And like the thoughts that are going through my mind equal in violence, kinda, but opposite spectrum, opposite ends of the spectrum. Murder.
Oh man, like I said, it's bad. I never realized how bad it was for women. Till I hate to say it's relatively recently. I don't have any daughters. I don't, you know,
Yeah.
and my wife's pretty tough girl. She takes care of herself, never any issues, whatever. Um, but I worked out at the Planet Fitness here in town, and I would go late at night. So legitimately, I was there from like 11 o'clock to 1 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock in the morning because I'd do it in the middle of the night when there's nobody there.
Yeah.
And I started having these ladies come up and go, "Hey, can you walk me to my car?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why not? Whatever." So I'd walk them to their car and stuff, and never paid a bit of attention. And one of the girls worked there. She goes, "I just want to say thank you. You guys, you're helping us out." I'm like, "It's fine." And she goes, girls don't like to walk out because the lights don't work in the parking lot. And I went, "What?" I had to go outside because I had never paid attention that the lights didn't work. And my wife looks at me, she goes, "That's something women look at, that the lights don't work." And she goes, "You got to feel good about yourself." She goes, "Because these women trusted you enough to ask you to walk them to your car, even though you're just the dude there working out at night."
Yeah. Well, we have no other, that's why I don't work out at night. And that's also why I don't work out in public. And if I ever worked out in public, I would go with someone else, because I watched a video of this fucking woman working out at night and she like let this guy in and she thought it was a guy that was coming in to work out and it was a guy coming in to fucking rape her.
Well,
And there's video footage of their 5 minute fucking ordeal where she's like running around fucking playing linebacker trying to fucking get around him.
I've seen
Like,
it, yeah.
ass. And I'm like, that is our reality. And nothing irks me more than when people are like, well, men have it bad too. I could probably, if someone said that to me and set me in the middle of like a group of these people, take them out like Rambo in a blind rage. I mean, I just, it is the anger that I feel when people try to make comparisons like that is exponential. I just can't, because it is not the same.
No,
You
no.
guys do not have the same level of fear that we have, and you never fucking will.
Nope.
So like to say that life is so hard for men is like baffling to me. Like, please, could you be any more of a fucking pick me? Like,
Oh shit. I've said this 1,000 times. I was like, I'm glad I'm a dude. I was like, one is that I don't want to put a whole lot into dealing with this every day. So but I was like, man, I would not want to be a woman. There's no way I'd want to.
no, it fucking sucks. I mean, granted,
Yeah.
like there's a lot of things that, we have that women didn't have back in 1960s or whatever. Yes, we've made progress.
Yeah.
But the things that we should really be making progress in, we have not made any at all. None. There is like the gender equality is so ass backwards. It's not even funny. Like it's been pushed by both ends to the point where it's like non-existent. Like the level of fear that we have now as women existing is it's not even equivalent to how it was in the 60s. I mean, think about all of the women that don't have rights to their bodies, like have to cross state lines in case like if something happens. Like it's just and the amount of men that like I had a situation with someone that I'm gonna leave out. But we were walking out of a cultural festival, and there was a guy talking, like having people like sign petitions, and he was pro-choice, which I'm very pro-choice. Yeah, women's rights. And this person looked this guy up and down, and he is a man, and looked this guy up and down and was like, "No, man, that's not really my thing. I'm good." And I just like my opinion of that person entirely changed in that moment in time, because how are you going to tell me that you don't care about me? Like that literally directly affects me.
Oh yeah. Well,
And you don't care? What? Just say you don't love me, Like that's exactly what that is. You don't. Ah.
see, and so because we don't know what it's like. I was like, I know I don't have any daughters, all sons, all four boys. I have nieces I'm close to. I have friends of the family that I am really close with their kids, and I love them to death. I love them as much as I love my nieces
Yeah.
and nephews, and I worry about them every day. And I couldn't, I couldn't definitely. No, that's bullshit. Women's rights, man. Screw that. I have no right
Yeah.
to tell anybody that. I mean, shit. I'm married, and my wife's like, "You, yeah, okay."
And it's crazy the amount of people that just I think I've come to the realization that 99.9999999 etc. Percent of the population is literally soulless and evil. They just walk around taking and never giving. And it's like you're allowed to be your main character of your life in your movie, because we are
Yeah.
all our own main characters. But like to be such a draining and greedy like person, I just can't imagine. Like the evil and the meanness and how like shitty people are these days is like wild to me. I
See,
don't know.
what's funny is that was it Wednesday? Wednesday. I went and we raised money at our con, and we always give it to the food bank. And yeah, they're more religious food bank, but they helped me out when I was broke. We
I
were
mean, food banks help people no matter. I'm not
yeah,
going to be they're Christian or whatever.
yeah, exactly. And I walked in there and we'd raised like $100, and I think it was like $98 and some change. So I walked in and I just had this handful of money, and I was like, "Can I talk to the manager?" And she's like, "Yeah." And the guy comes out and he's like, "What is it?" I was like, "Here." And I just hand him the money, and he goes, "Do you need a picture? Do you want something?" I was like, "No, I'm good, man. I'm just
Yeah.
here to pass forward." And
Yeah. The only time there's any good that's done is if it's like for social media presentation,
yeah,
which drives
don't
me
want that.
insane.
I say that as I do this on social, as I do this on thing, but no,
No, you're like telling me the only reason it's
yeah,
on social media is because we're having a
yeah,
conversation. Like the
and
only
and
reason it's good.
I just donate and leave. I don't need any notification. I don't need any. I'm just like, here you go. There you go. Buy
Yeah.
what you need. I'm out.
I do stuff for people and they're like, "Do you want to take a picture?" I'm like, "No, I just want you to take this and leave." Because I'm socially awkward and I'm an introvert, and it's already taking me a lot to be here right now. Not that it's your fault. I'm not saying it is, but I'm just saying take the Prezi and go.
Yep. And it's so funny that you are a socially awkward introvert, because you are very open and brutally honest, and you're everywhere in movies all the time, and you're
Like I get my peopling via sets and like photo shoots that I randomly sometimes do or whatever. Like 99% of my time is spent in this room right here, or am room next in the next room. I whenever I'm around people that I am not acquainted with, I am forever reminded as to why I stay alone.
yeah.
Honestly, just people are just so shitty anymore. It just blows me away. I see, and the thing is, people. I like to. I mean, I am dumb for all intents and purposes, but sometimes I put on a dumb act, and it's because I like to see how people act around me. And I like to see how things like change. And I like to, once they trust you, they really start to show their true colors. And then I'm like, it's like every time I let that happen, I'm constantly disappointed because I'm like, oh, you're another snake. Look at that. Oh my God. Wow. Who would have thunk it?
It is, because I mean that's everybody. I mean, I've had
It really
people
is.
that
It's everywhere.
I've had people I was friends with since we were kids, and they took me down a horrible path when we got older. Did I lose you?
No, sorry. I was reading a text message
Ah, okay.
from Derek. Yeah, please be sure to give him all of the shit.
Yes, I will give him all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Although
Tell him and be real about it.
I can't give him too much shit. He got me some cool stuff, so I can't.
Yes, you can. You can do it. He's fine. It'll be fine. It's good for his character development.
Oh, he's such a cool dude. I mean, I it's funny because I we have mutual friends, and I used to know him from FYE, and
Oh my God, my dad used to take me to FYE so much as a kid. I can smell
FYE,
it right now.
our FYE is gone. The closest one's all the way down in Dayton, and now I have to order all my weird movies and records and shit offline because I don't feel like driving.
Yeah, but I mean, my dad's always been that way. We always do the online versus the in person. You never find anything that you really like in person anyway around here. So,
Well, I get bored, and I'm like, man, I was like, I want this album, and if I don't go to, I hate to say, if I don't go to a concert where I buy a lot of my vinyl at, is I buy it directly from them, and now it's like, oh, I got to order it offline, and
oh, so you're a concert junkie too.
yes,
Yeah, see, y'all be liking all these people. You like these crowds with these people and the yellings and the bass in the ears and wah wah. I can't do that shit.
the I'm gonna go to, was it the last show I went to was Nightclub at Smalls in Detroit.
No, that already sounds like Detroit. You lost me. You
Well, it's not even in
lost.
Detroit. It's in Hamtramck, which is north of Detroit. So,
Huh.
and I went and seen Perturbator at L Club in Detroit. In a few weeks, I'm going to take my wife to go see Stevie Nicks in Louisville, Kentucky. Uh,
Oh, I fit easily in most overhead storage bins. You won't even know I'm there.
like
Oh my
I
God.
was just walk you in a bag and just
In a little animal carry-on, I fit those little bubble backpacks. I swear to God, I'll be able to breathe out of the hole. You won't even know I'm
the the and the worst part about it is they're not even great seats, and were stupid expensive.
fucking Knicks. Of course you're paying an arm and a leg to see her.
And it's funny because I got tickets to 3 concerts for me, my buddies, one of my buddies, my kid, and a couple of them I didn't get. I only got 2 tickets to, but the 3 concerts I got multiple tickets to were still cheaper than the 2 tickets that it cost for me to go take her to see Stevie Nicks. So,
It's
and
expensive.
it would have been worse if we would have went and seen them in Columbus, because that was with Billy Joel. They would have been twice as much for that.
That's where my mom's friend that works in her salon went to go see her was when she was with Billy Joel in Columbus. And I like don't remember the exact number that I was hearing, but the number that I heard made me like clutch my pearls. I was like, oh dear God.
2 tickets, $400. Was three
Yeah, the
ninety
that she
eight.
bought was like 400 for one, I think. It was
Yeah,
like
that'd be about right.
a
Yeah.
lot of money. And the only time I'd pay that is if you brought Peter Steele back from the dead. Like,
Yeah. If you built time machines and let me go back to concerts I wanted to go to, that's about the only way I want to spend that kind of money.
oh my God. Oh my God. I would be a much happier person. I can tell you that much right now. I'd also be a very well-known groupie.
I
Possibly
I've
in
I
another.
was and I was front row for all the concerts I went to. I was guardrail. There they were. Um, I want to see. I know it's bad because it's not even Peter Steele, but I wanted to see A Pale Horse Named Death, which was the guys from Typo Negative's band afterwards, which I really liked. But
There's another band that they put together that's called Silver Tomb or some shit like that.
yeah, never saw Carnivore, never saw any of their post Typo bands, but I got to see
Yeah,
Typo Negative.
not let me tell you, it's not. I didn't like any of the post typo because it's not Peter. It's not his voice. Never
Yes.
the same.
Oh my God. I don't want to be me has been stuck in my head for like a month now.
Oh, that fucking music video is a treasure. It is a national treasure, and
Dan
we have.
Fogler is awesome.
Oh my God, there were so many cameos in that video that I was just like, wow.
My you know where he put it. My bass is around here somewhere, but my son Vince, he won't let me play it because he wants me to finger pick. And I was sitting there, I was like playing like a strumming, and I was playing the opening. I was like I don't want to be me, and I was doing it. And Vince is like, no, do this. I'm like, I can't do that with this song. I got like this. And I practice every once in a while because I one of my favorite bands of all time is Anthrax, and I finally got to meet Scott and Frankie. I met Joey Belladonna a few years back, but I finally got to meet Scott and Frankie.
And so, is this the band that had the
The
beard? The
Yeah,
guy that had the beard.
yeah, because
What's his name?
Scott Ian.
Okay.
Let's see. This shit's stuck in here. Okay, here we go. Right here. Boom.
Pantera is the band that did
That
the.
guy is Scott Ian.
And like as soon as you said I enjoy, like, you enjoy Pantera, that is the beard connection is what I made, and I was like, of course you do.
Yep, I've seen Pantera like 8 times. And
There's a guy that song called Walk.
Walk, yeah.
I have to dance that sometimes in the fucking club, and I've never been so angry at a band that I've never really listened to. But I every time it comes on, I want to just like fight that man. I'm like, why did you make this song? Every white trash guy around here loves it, and I have to shake ass to it. Why?
That just seems a weird fucking song to play.
Dude,
Okay,
they request that stuff. I'm telling you,
I know.
it's a Mansfield thing. They have a weird palette around here. I just don't understand.
What was real bad was I like Prince.
Oh, I love Prince.
I
I'll
love
dance to
Prince.
Prince all night.
And I found out that the strip clubs around here at one time you could not play Pussy Control.
I dance to Pussy Control all the time. I love that song.
No, and I'm like sitting there like, what? One of the best stories is my wife. She was driving down the road. This kid's riding his bicycle, and he's probably 10, 11 years old, and he's just singing Pussy Control as loud as he can going down the street. And my wife is like, that's one of the best things ever. So he's like, this little kid's like, Pussy Control, and he's riding his bicycle. I was like,
That would make you want to have a kid for sure. I would see that and be like, you know what? I kind of changed my mind. Maybe I want to breed a little. I don't know. That's so fucking cute.
I've never had anything like that. But one day we were sitting there, and I had a convertible Camaro at the time. So I'm driving around with the top down. My kids are in the car with me. We're stopped at a stoplight, and we're listening to Queen. So we're listening to "Don't Stop Me," "Don't Stop Me Now," and we're singing it as just right along with it. And then like a few days later, somebody comes in the shop and they're like, "Yeah," they're like, so I was driving down the road, and I hear Queen as loud as can be, and then I roll up and realize it's you and your kids singing Queen at the top of your lungs, and went, "Yep." I was like, because my kids rock. My kids are awesome. So
I bet my dad would have been a little prouder if I would have requested a Queen song, but it was always Kid Rock, Ball with the Ball.
Ball with the ball, bang, bang, bang.
I don't know why I was so into that song, but I'm telling you, man, all the time I would be like, play the boogie song, play the boogie song.
I do have one Kid Rock story, and it's kind of I'm adjacent to this story. We go up and we have my wife's got family that lives up in Michigan, and she's got family that lives in Detroit. And we're in Brighton, Michigan, which is about 40 minutes outside of Detroit, give or take. And her uncle is getting his hot dogs at World Famous. So we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. It's like 2 hours later on a 35, 40-minute drive. We're like, what the hell's taking so long? Pretty soon her uncle pulls up and he's mad. And he's like, and we're like, what's going on? He said, Kid Rock showed up. They shut everything down, let him get his hot dogs, and then he got his shit, and then they started everything back up, and he left. And I'm like, what? And he turns his camera around, and there's Kid Rock walking past him, because they made everybody else stop. They let him walk past everybody in line, get his stuff, and then leave. And of course, everybody's like, oh, Kid Rock. So everybody's like bothering. So that makes everything late. So literally.
Do you know how mad I would have been if that white trash, come between me and my food and your music is that bad.
But that's our Kid Rock story, is that he
ought to be freaking ashamed of himself. He is not even that freaking cool to be acting like that.
See, but here's the worst part. I've talked to people that went there, and like the guys from like ICP showed up. And what did they do? They bought hot dogs for everybody.
Do you know the love that I have for ICP? Like, it is so real. I love those guys. I love them. I love them.
I'm not a fan of their music. I joke around with my friends that are juggalos. I give them shit. I'm not gonna lie. I give them crap. But here's the thing. I have respect for those guys because one is they give back to the city of Detroit constantly. They give back to all these organizations. They give back to all this stuff. I can still make fun of them because people make fun of me for my music. I don't care. So I give my friend shit. My one friend has toured with them, and I will still give him shit.
Oh, that's so cool.
And yeah, he just did a thing with, I think, the whole Camp Zool here, and he is one of the ones that helps puts it on. But yeah, he's there. I've seen pictures of him with the guys from Twisted, the guys from ICP, and
would love to meet and work with Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope. Actually, one of my favorite movies is the Western that they did with a bunch of the other guys from their Psychopathic records. And I can't remember what it's called. It's like
big money rustlers.
Yes. Oh my God, we came together and we at the same time. That is such a good. Why is it so funny and good? I don't understand, but I love it. Actually, I would love to fucking find that on DVD and have that. I haven't.
I used to have Big Money Hustlers, the first one. And I don't know whatever happened to that. I don't know if I loaned it out and never got it back or whatever. But my whole thing was it got given to me because I like the Misfits, and the Misfits are in it. They're in the bar in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. And somebody gave it to me because I like the Misfits. And but yeah, no, I give my friends shit all the time.
Okay, people give shit for it all the time too. Like I told someone on a set one time that like I genuinely enjoy listening to ICP and Head PE, and they were like, really? And I was like, yeah, really. I really like Head PE. That man's voice is so fucking awesome. I love, I guess, my two favorite genres would have to be like trailer park rock and fucking sex metal, which is like two of the most made fun of genres. I mean, like they fucking dog them so much for no reason. And Screamo. Like I like Broken Side a lot. I actually follow them and want to go see them. Their new music's not that great, but I have hopes that they'll play the old stuff from when I was a kid. But anyway, I actually really like their music, and people cannot stand that shit. And they're like mean about it. And I'm like, God damn, you guys.
We just had the conversation, me and my son, when we're driving back from the con, about these bands that get shit on because, you know, one, they got famous, and it was the one I like to make fun of, even though I will give them all the credit in the world, is Nickelback.
Yeah, Nickelback, I listen Nickelback too. It's okay.
The Nickelback is a garage band, bar band that somehow made it big.
They really are.
And more power to them. The fact that they were able to become Nickelback is insane.
Yeah.
And I mean, is their musicianship great? No. Is their songs catchy? Yes. You know,
Yeah.
are they poppy? Yes. But you know what? I'll give them all the credit in the world. I mean, I listen to dumb shit that no one's ever heard of. And then
I will say that if I had to pick between them and the guy that does that weird tongue thing, that shit, I would pick the tongue guy over Nickelback any day. Just say. I'm not super I have to dance to them too and work a lot. And I've only if I had just my personal hell is a strip club that is empty playing Nickelback and Metallica on repeat.
see, I couldn't imagine going to a strip club and listening to Metallica. Some girl.
Oh my God, that's all I've ever had to listen to for the last 6 years working at Top Hat. The one manager is literally obsessed with Metallica. And it's like, I'd rather dance to Guar.
I think I've actually had a girl dance to Guar.
I'll
Just
tell you,
because I could.
I'd rather dance to Guar, honestly. I love Guar.
Oh, God, I love Guar.
But
I've hung out with those guys.
I can hold a rhythm. I could never hold a rhythm to it. But if I had to pick between the two, I would pick Guar every day.
See,
Cradle of Filth.
I've been digging through my personal stuff because there is a picture of me in full odorous costume.
That is amazing. Did you have the cuttlefish?
Yes, I'm legitimately holding the big.
Yeah, you have to have the cuttlefish or you're not doing it right.
And it was worst part about it because it was a weird one-off costume. He goes, I decided to try to make my right arm a tentacle. So the right arm is weirdly shaped and it becomes but
rest in fucking power, man. He was so fucking awesome, dude. Oh my God.
I hung out with those. Well, it was funny because it started out with I was doing a comic book show in the early 90s in Columbus. And I had just seen Gwar like 3 days before. So I had my Gwar t-shirt on and can't remember what it's like. It looks like it's Gwar is cut into your chest.
Oh,
and I'm sitting there and this dude sat next to me and he had some Gwar comics. And he goes, "You like Gwar?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, so I bought the comics he had. He goes, "I got somebody who's going to want to meet you later. He's coming by." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's telling me, he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I was Gwar's one of their tour managers and shit like that." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure, dude, whatever." You know, I hear that bullshit all the time. And pretty soon this dude walks in and he walks over and he puts his hands on the table and he looks at me, he goes, "Like your shirt?" He goes, "I heard you want to talk to me." And I went, "What?" He goes, "You talk to whatever over there?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Hi, I'm Dave." And I'm like, he goes, "I'm odorous." I'm like, "The fuck you are."
Oh my God, I would have melted into the floor.
So I talked to him at that con. Then he used to do Gwar used to do Motor City Con all the time. And then I would always talk to him there because I went to Motor City twice a year, hung out with them, bullshitted with them, went and seen them play at Harpo's in Detroit and shit. And I've that's when I was sitting there because they had, because I'm hanging out with them at their booth and they had their costumes all put in crates. And it goes, and they start pulling off. So I'm like wearing like the beefcake helmet and I'm wearing the ball sack trap jaw and stuff. And I'm sitting there and there's this part of this face looking out of the box at me. And he's like, "That's the odorous costume." And I'm like sitting there, I'm like, "Hell yeah." He goes, "You want to wear it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
one of the grossest, stinkiest things you ever touched me ever. And I worked on a pig farm. So it was so gross, but it was, he goes,
name is odorous.
yeah. And he goes, usually he goes, we have to dump the shoes out and they weigh a ton because it's all foam latex. So it's all got all that shit absorbed into it. And it was so bad, but I have the shoulder pads on. I have the gauntlets. I have the mask on. I don't have it glued on. So
I would have maybe passed on the mask strictly because I don't know that I just anyway. I bet anything, everything but the smelly mask.
So I had a really nice set of vampire fangs at one point. My mom worked at the dentist office, so I had these really nice actual denture fangs. And so I have them in, and I have the mask on, I have the horns, I have the shoulder pads, I have the big sword and the whole 9 yards. And there's a picture of me, and I'm literally standing with the sword in one hand and the other. And I cannot find it's a Polaroid. That's the worst part about it, because
Oh, I love. Hold
this is
on.
before everybody had a camera on their phone.
Yeah.
But I made money. So, but no, I'm supposed to hook up with Don and them. I'm going to try to bring them to our show up here in Ohio sometime. So,
Oh, that'll be cool. I'm sure that I will hear about that.
yep. And he said he's got a con coming up, so we'll find out if they're going to be close again, and I'll just travel over and hang out with
Yeah.
them. Don's a blast. And it's nice being able to, I hate to say this, talk to somebody that's maybe older than me that knows what the hell I'm talking about.
No, it's okay, because sometimes I talk to people and I'm like, wow, why did I even open my mouth? Like, what was the point? I just, I give.
We were talking anime at the shop the other day, and I was like, oh yeah, one of my favorite animes is I love Bubblegum Crisis, Tokyo 2040, and the Bubblegum Crisis. Of course, Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff, and a lot of the Gundams. And I was like, Bow. And it was like, what's Bow? The fuck do you mean, what's Bow? I was like, you know what JoJo's Bizarre? Yeah, I know what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is. I'm like, it's what he made before he made JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I was like, I legit have it on Laserdisc and VHS tape, because it's as far as it goes.
I got I got kind of sad when, like, I get sad whenever people like watch reboot anime and they think it's like an original, and if they don't understand that it's been a reboot. Like, there's two right now that are really big. It's Baki the Grappler
Oh
and
yeah,
Hunter, whatever it is.
Yep.
And so Baki was like originally released like late 80s, early 90s, I'm pretty sure. And what we have now is nothing in comparison to the original at all. Like, the way that Baki's dad is presented is not even remotely the same as it was when it was originally done. Like, people don't talk about the fact that Baki's dad was literally pegging dudes in prison because, like, he literally just could. Like, that was one of his things. One of the things that his dad was known for was fucking opponents because he fucking could. Like, kids don't know, though.
Nope. See, I got shit like this.
See, my dad would probably like cry.
That is a opening for a bunch of different animes from Japan from the 70s.
Don't open that.
Well, it's already been opened. It's that's how I got it.
No.
But then I got shit like this is the one. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, see, I would flip my fucking lid right now, but like, my dad has so much Akira shit that I think that if you and him talked, you'd probably like my dad more than you like me. I'm not gonna lie.
I love Akira. That's
yeah.
Might be the first anime movie I ever saw was Akira.
I will take a photo of the theater poster that my dad acquired from the original like the release of Akira, because he was, I think, a teen when that came out. I don't fucking remember, but it's worth a lot, and it was a lot when he got it, and that's his like prized possession, and it's hanging up in his house. So one of these days when I go over, I'll take a photo and show you.
I would show you. I have a friend who hooks me up with old movie posters. So legitimately, my whole area down here, I have the original Transformers movie poster from the 80s. I have Heavy Metal.
You got me. Dad has that one, and I wish that he would just give it to me now.
The Heavy Metal one?
Yeah, seriously. I love Heavy Metal.
I have Heavy Metal. It's Alive Again, which is It's Alive 2. I have
know.
The Eliminators.
I love that.
I have Deathstalker 3, Swords of the Barbarians. I have Deadly Blessings. Oh, Prom Night 3. I have shit that people know.
I have a very, very expensive house poster.
Which
This is
one?
my just the original house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's yep.
I love that movie. Yep. Oh my god. That is
I
probably the
mean, oh,
movie
that's from a theater,
opens
whatever the fuck
nationwide.
they did. Fucking Night of the Living Dead. But so when my mom was like cleaning out this old theater for a guy, that was one of the things that was from the, like, they put it up to like display that that movie was playing at the
Mhm.
theater.
Yep.
So I'm not entirely sure how old it is, but I know that it's actually like it's older than me.
No, definitely. Because it would be that
So
was the so 86, I
it
believe.
had, yeah,
Yeah.
because well, it's yeah, it
Yeah.
had to have been.
Because
But yeah, that's one of my other babies. I guess I'm not sure about the Army of Darkness poster. I think my dad got that from someone that like got it from a theater release, like when it first released. But I'm not sure.
my we were digging through my old posters because I still have all my old posters from when I was a kid. So I have my original like Hellraiser 3 poster. I have all these original posters from when I was a kid. And I'm going through there and my buddy's like, "Do you want to sell that?" And I was like, "No, no, no, no,
Do
no."
you want to sell that? See, that's the kind of person that I am too, though. I would see that and I'd be like, so do you want to give that to me? I'll give you money.
The one he really wants more than anything is that when I was a teenager, of course, I had a huge crush on Christina Applegate from Married with Children. And so I have the old school original Christina Applegate posters, and I still
Oh,
have them.
yeah.
And
Every
he's
boy in the 80s had one of them fucking things.
and now he's like, "Do you want to sell those?" I'm like, "No, those are the original ones." I was like, "It's bad now. I know I'm old because I stopped having a crush on Christina Applegate and I have a crush on Katie Seagal." So
Well, I didn't have a crush on Kate. No, like I didn't even start with Christina Applegate. It went straight to Katie Seagal.
yeah,
I love her.
Peg
Peg.
Bundy, man. And then when she became the mom on Sons of Anarchy, she got even badasser.
Oh my God, Gemma Teller was such a babe. I that show was literally nothing but eye candy, and thank
I've
you. Kurt Sutter really knows what he's doing.
You know the worst part about it? I've never finished watching Sons of Anarchy because of one
What?
person.
Oh,
I was watching it religiously every week. I worked third shift. So I left to go to work and I would record the show and I would come home and I would watch it the next day when DVR.
yeah.
And I left and went to work and I come in and one of the girls, we would talk about Sons of Anarchy and stuff like that. And she walks up to me, she grabs me, she goes, "I can't believe they killed Opie." And I went, "I was at work last night. I didn't get to see it." And I was so mad I've never watched it again.
Opie's death made me stop watching it for about a month
I
because
was
like I get if you catch me and they loop me in right at the beginning, right when everything is developing and I have to follow that story and I get attached. I get attached. Like it's
mhm.
like they're real. And like when they killed him off, I was distraught. Oh my fucking god. But then I like found a new love and you would be surprised it was Tig.
I've met Tig. I've met him
Oh
and
my god.
I met
Where?
at a motorcycle show. Him and Juice, the bald guy.
I don't even
Met both
fucking
of
care.
them.
I don't
And
even care about.
the best part about it is I'm sitting there talking to him and I go, "Man," I was like, "I almost brought my copy of Waterworld for you to sign." He goes, "Oh, dude, I would have loved to sign." I was like, "It was my VHS." He goes, "You have a VHS copy of Waterworld?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, fuck, I'd have signed the shit out of that."
I don't know what it is about like creepy old men, but they really get me. I have a running theme here. I love Tig a lot.
Opie was always the I guess stand-in for the audience. I always felt like that. And when they killed him off, I thought, "Oh, how the fuck are they gonna keep this show going?" Because he was your
Because
avatar.
woman that was watching that show was not watching it for fucking Opie right away. We all started watching that shit for Jax. I don't care what any woman says. You did not start watching that shit for the plot. It's like reading a Playboy for the story. No, you didn't. You watched it because you watched that preview of him shirtless, running around with all that. That's why you watched it.
I just, well, it's funny going back because Charlie Hunnam was listed on the next year at the motorcycle show we were going to go to. And they're like, yeah, we're bringing him in. And then I found out because he canceled. So people went out and they found him. He's like, I was never, ever doing that show. He goes, they lied to you. And I was like, oh, fuck, okay. But now freaking Opie's at like all these shows now, but I never got to meet him.
Opie is he's not. I don't know. I have my own opinions. I think he's just a pretty face. I don't think he's that great of an actor.
Well, you know, because what he went from that to the one where he played the kind of hillbilly guy.
The Walking Dead.
No, well, yeah, no, because there was a show between.
I don't know what show it was between it, but I remember him playing the guy in The Walking Dead, and I was not impressed at all.
I'm not gonna lie. I've never gotten past season 3 of Walking Dead.
So I bit the bullet and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking watch this. I am gonna power through this. And my treat for doing this is getting to see Norman Reedus in the episodes that he's in because honestly, and he carries that show. If they kill him off, which I don't think they ever will at this point.
No, because he's getting his own show now.
Yeah, it's funny because he wasn't even a fucking character in the comics.
No.
They originally wrote him into the script to kill him.
Him off, yeah.
And because of the Merle dynamic that was going on, it was like to pull at the heartstring type of deal. But then they got such a fucking strong positive reaction to him that they were like, we have to keep him. And then it just got more and more and more. And now half of the fucking United States is watching The Walking Dead for Daryl Dixon.
I've hung out with Norman Reedus at Horror Hound.
I met him at Horror Hound before he was in The Walking Dead, before it was like fucking hundreds of dollars to meet.
Yeah. Legitimately, this was Columbus like 11 years ago.
Oh, this is probably when I went.
Yeah. He was hanging outside and he comes up to me. He's like, hey, man, you got a lighter? And I'm like, nah, I don't have my lighter. I was like, I don't have my lighter. I was like, I can run back to my van and get it. He's like, man, he goes, can you do that? I was like, yeah. And we end up standing there talking for a few minutes. This other guy comes up because I got a lighter. So we just end up bullshitting with him for a while. And he's like, hey, thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Went about our day. So that was my Norman Reedus story. Now,
when I met him when I was 16, that's exactly what I sounded like. I couldn't speak the words. And I probably I'm 25 years old. And if that man, no, go on. I know. It's a rough life being a cat. And if I got the chance to like afford to be able to meet him and talk with him again, it would still be, my mom would still have to talk for me. She'd still have to be like, her name is Morgan. She really loves your work. That's what she's trying to tell you.
Oh my God. There's been one person that I legitimately could not bring myself to talk to because little kid Paul freaked out. So 9-year-old little kid version of me wouldn't let full-grown adult me go talk to this person. I was at a comic and toy show. I had a table here. There's a table between here, and there's a table over here, and it's legitimately a woman named Morgan Lofton. She is the voice of the Baroness from the original G.I. Joe cartoons.
Oh.
I had the biggest crush at 9 years old on the Baroness.
Oh, your poor inner little kid was just screaming, man.
I'm sitting there and I would like, all right, I'm gonna get up and talk to her. And then the Baroness voice would come out from the side. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna sit back down. Oh, I can't do this. I can't. It's like
That's so precious.
I couldn't do it. I was like, oh my God, this is.
I barely spoke break. It's okay. I don't, it's all right. People get enamored by meeting people like that. That's why I made the post. The next time I see him, I'm going to ask him questions. Cause the first time I was like, he's touching me. Oh my God, he's touching me. What do I do?
Well, years ago, I got to meet Claudia Christian. She's now on 911. She was on Babylon 5. She was in the movie The Hidden. And I thought she was hot. I still think she's hot. And I was gone to several conventions that she had to either cancel or they, found out they never actually booked her and stuff like that. Finally, go to Chicago. I'm at Chicago Comic-Con, and I walk up. I'm past everybody else. I get up to her, and I'm like, and my wife's like, "Hi, his name's Paul. He's here to talk to you." And
yeah,
I'm like,
my mom does that. Doesn't it make you feel like a fucking ding dong when that shit happens?
yeah. And I'm like, "Oh my God, yes, thank you." And I finally broke, and I was talking to her. Skip a few years. We're at Dragon Con in Atlanta. And I'm down there. Tina's waiting to talk to she's getting in line for James Marsters from Buffy and stuff like that. And I'm standing in line for Claudia, and I'm sitting there, and she looks up and she's like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you since Chicago." And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh my God." She goes, "Can I use the restroom real quick? I'll be right back." And I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." So I'm just chilling. She goes off, comes back, she signs everything I have. Doesn't ask any, and at the time she had her Playboy, but she wasn't signing her Playboy because I guess she kind of wanted to get away from it.
Yeah.
And so she signed her Playboy. She signed all the because I just grabbed some shit, threw it in my bag, and was like, whatever. She signs everything, doesn't charge me. She gets up, gives me a big hug and a kiss. And she's like, "Well, you go ahead and find me later." And I'm like, "Oh, I was like, we're going to be around the convention the entire weekend, blah, blah, blah." And so anytime I come by, I'd high five her, say hi, whatever. And but I'm sitting there, I get this whole big treatment. The guy standing behind me walks up, he hands her whatever, and she's like, "Thank you." And then and the guy just looks at me and I went, and you would have just, the guy was like, "Did you score that?" And my wife's like, "Yeah, you can thank me for that, by the way."
Yeah. Yeah. Your wife is the best wingman ever, and you're welcome.
I love her. Well, what's really funny was she was in line for James Barstow. Well, his band was performing that night at Dragon Con. I had press passes because I had a public access show at the time. Oh, there you go. And so we're in the backstage and stuff, and we're talking to all these people. And I'm standing there, and James is up on this platform, and I'm talking to him. And me and him are just bullshitting while my wife's talking with some other people. And my wife turns around and says, "Who's she talking to?" And I'm talking to James. And I go like this. And she looks up, and James is like this, and he's looking down at her. And she's like, "Ah, ah."
I would have done.
That was her crush at the time, man. She almost couldn't talk when she finally met him. But it's that was back when you could actually talk to guests, and it wasn't like their security people would walk you off and shit. So
I think I got it.
there you go. No, don't fall over. Oh my God, that was her thing, and that was mine. Is I got to meet Claudia because of her, and she remembered me, and then I got her to say hi to James outside of standing in line because I was talking to him, just talking to him like, we're talking right now. And that was all. That was it. But then this year I went to Horror Hound. We're eating and we're walking out, and I'm talking to this kid behind me. I'm not paying a bit of attention to who this kid is at all, right? And we're sitting, he's like, "Hey, having a good time?" "Yeah, fuck yeah, it's been fun, blah, 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 blah." And he walks off and I walk off. These people go, "What did he say?" And I went, "What?" It's just the dude. And they're like, "That's Zolo from Karate Kid or Cobra Kai and Blue Beetle." And I'm like, "Okay." And they're like, what were you guys talking about?" I was like, "I don't know, the weather."
When a lot of people talk about other celebrities that they meet, especially when people like that go to a lot of cons and stuff,
Yeah.
like they're talking about all these people, I have not a fucking clue who 99% of them are. I'm not going to lie to you, especially if I don't see their fucking face.
Yeah.
So like when people are saying their names, I'm just like, yeah, I don't know who that guy is. Sounds really great. He just said hello to me, asked me what time it was, and dipped. Like I people mistake it for humbleness, but it's really actually me just kind of being like absolutely fucking stupid. Like I just don't know. I'm like, no, it's actually I just don't know. I didn't know. I would have been excited if you would have told me. If I'd have known, I would have jumped up and down. But I just didn't know.
Now it's bad because you're going to conventions as talent now, and I've been invited to conventions as talent, which is weird for me because I'm like, who the fuck am I? I'm nobody important, and yet they're like, here's your table, here's your booth. I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm going to sit here for an entire weekend with no merchandise, no nothing, and then I just talk to everybody. So I end up hanging out. I went to um Virginia last year, and I ended up hanging out with the guys from Hellraiser. So I'm legitimately just hanging out with two of the guys that did special effects and the Pinhead in the last Hellraiser movie. Not the
I
not
would
the
I know a lot of normal people would be super excited about that. And like it is really cool, but like I would not be it would just be I would be like I would just be talking to them.
That's just it. We just talked the entire
Like
weekend about dumb shit,
it
about
just
going to concerts and stuff. And like,
they're just to me now at this point, you're all just people. And like I've actually had instances where I've worked with like bigger build names that get kind of upset because I didn't like have a fucking meltdown because I'm working with them or like I'm on the set with them. And like I didn't like shove myself up their ass. And I'm like, isn't this kind of what you would want? Like a normal experience from people on a set. You don't, I mean, if I ever get to that point, I would want a normal experience on the set. I don't want people just like, oh my God, get my photo on my phone, my laptop, my iPad, my fucking, let me get a photo on my like nano. Like, I mean, just everything that you could have a photo on, like everything. It just, wouldn't you want some like peace, homie?
see, that's what I liked about the dudes I hung out with all that weekend because it was legitimately, like I said, I hung out with Gary Tunnicliffe, who did special effects makeups for a shit ton of movies. Mike Regan, who a special effects guy, he's Chatterer Pinhead in a bunch of, or Chatterer Cinnabite in a
Yeah.
bunch of the Hellraiser movies, and then Paul Taylor, who was Pinhead in the last Dimensions Films Hellraiser. And we're just sitting there, and me and him are talking anime.
Did you look at him and say, why did you do that?
No, I told him, I was like, you did far better than the guy before you, the one at
Wait, so is
Judgment.
there another one that I'm
There's
missing out on?
there's
Because who was the
Revelations
one?
and Judgment.
Well, which one was the one that sucked?
Revelations. That's the bad one. That's the one that
Hey, did that come out around the same time that the Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Street remakes came out? Do you remember those with like Jared
yes.
Padalecki?
Yeah, hold on a second. Hold on, there it is. I know I had it floating around here somewhere. Oh shit, is this Mitch go sideways? There we go. This is Gary's character in Hellraiser Judgment. He's the one that
I remember,
directed it. Okay,
yeah.
that's the last Dimension film one. That's actually not bad given the fact that they only had like a stupid small budget. But he told me that the Revelations that was one of the ones they threw together, I think it said in 7 days, and it was just to keep the rights. So they already had the makeup for Doug, and they just went throw it on that guy, and they put Doug's makeup on another dude. So he's got a thick face where Doug and Paul both have gaunt faces, which, so the makeup works better on him. I was told that the entire budget for special effects was like $5,000. And the guys that were working for Gary at the time wanted the Hellraiser on their resume. So they slept in their trailer and worked essentially for free just so they could have worked on a Hellraiser movie with no budget and all this stuff like that. And you're like, oh man, it sucks. And he goes, you know what? He goes, these guys wanted to do it, so they did it just so they could have that. And I'm like, I don't know.
But Doug Bradley isn't even, that's my thing. I would, any opportunity like that would be such an honor. obviously. But I'm not going to like distress myself if I'm not going to get to work with the people that are I truly want to work with that are a part of those things. Like I would not stress myself out if I was doing the freaking Nightmare on Elm Street remake with that guy that he looks like a damn it's I
The worst part about it is
no.
I like Jackie Earl Haley, the guy who played Freddy Krueger. He
I
played
don't know
Morpheus.
if he's ever been in aside from that movie, and I can tell you that it was one of the few movies that I, as a teenager, I felt the urge to get up out of the theater and fucking leave.
I think I seen it at the drive-in, so I watched that one and then something else after that.
Through the screen, my
Oh,
guy.
it's irritating because I think it had potential to be great. Jackie Earl Haley's great. He's the one that played Rorschach in the Watchmen movie. Um, and I know this is bad. Go back and he was a child actor. He was in the original Bad News Bears
Oh
movie.
my god.
He played the
Awesome.
tough kid. He played the tough kid, even though he's only like 5 foot tall. He's
I
still
love that. Oh my god, I haven't watched that movie in so long.
Yep.
Holy shit.
I just rewatched them all a while back just because I could because they were on HBO. And I'm like, what? I ain't watched these since I was a kid. Then I watched the first two and went to watch the one where they go to Japan, and I only got about halfway through it because I could not watch it because it's legitimately one of the worst movies you'll ever see.
There are some movies that are just like that, where it's like when they made it, like that live action duck movie.
The live
What is it?
action
It's a lot. It's got like a live action duck in it, and there's
Howard
like
the
a
Duck.
whole section with the duck.
Howard the Duck.
Yeah,
I love Howard the Duck because it's
yeah. You
insane.
can love that all you want, but that was uncomfortable to watch. That
Oh
was
yeah,
like if
it's fucking
that was like
wrong.
whole world in reversal. Like,
Yeah,
ugh.
because you had Leah Thompson hooking up with the Duck Man.
Yeah. So I can't tell you. I don't think that I could have done. Well, so actually, I could have. As an actress, I could have done that. Watching it as an audience member was uncomfortable, but I
Oh,
could totally like a fake duck, I guess.
I'm gonna tell you this is how old I am. I saw that shit in the theater when it first came out.
Did you hear me?
What? No.
Don't let Brad Twig hear me say what I just said
Oh, no.
because he'll do it.
There you go. So, Brad, if you're watching this, you need.
Yeah. The next movie needs to be about ducks on crack cocaine.
Okay.
I love that. Well, ducks really went downhill over the years.
Quack. They're hooked on quack.
They're hooked on quack.
The
Brad, oh my God, we found it. We found the next movie.
quacks. Quack, crack, quack, quack, crack. I don't know. Oh, geez. The everything on drugs thing is so fun right now because now they're doing meth gators, cocaine sharks, raccoon. Cocaine Bear was fun. I'm not gonna lie. That was a dumbass movie.
Didn't anticipate it to blow up the way that it did. I mean, it's got like 200 and some thousand views.
Yeah, that was funny because, like I said, when you guys,
Noel has it. I've Unilad did it. Like just so many. It's everywhere. It's on TikTok now.
Mhm.
The you hashtag Crackoon on Twitter. The posts are freaking insane. Like it's gained quite a bit of traction, and I am so proud of Lil Brad Twig and our crack cocaine movie.
Oh shit! I knew what I was gonna tell you. Shit. So I have to because we were talking about sex metal and all that stuff like that. I paid for the perk for Scream Dreams to be on the album cover of one of the ones that she's looking at. And we're doing one. I'm going to do. My wife does Photoshop. She's really good. So we're gonna go. I have my Camaro. I have an '82 Camaro outside. So I'm gonna have the bass. I'm gonna be shirtless, my leather jacket, torn up pants. I wish I still had the bullet belt, but we're gonna do the beard so it won't be gray. So we're gonna do that. Put the headband on.
Where do you live again?
Where do I live again? Piqua, Ohio. You're Mansfield.
Yeah, how far are you from me?
Huh?
How far is that? I'm not good with directions, so you need to just tell me how far you are from me.
You're probably about 2 hours away from me.
I have bullet belt that I can send you that I was going to use for Waspzilla, and it's like a man bullet belt. That's why I
Yeah.
could fit it. It's so like if you want it so that you can have it.
Yes, I would love
Yeah,
that. That would be awesome.
it's too big for me. I'm never going to be able to wear it with anything. I only got it for that role, and then I ended up having to fly, and there's no way TSA would have let that shit through.
No.
Because
Well,
if there was a plastic like plastic, you could feel like what I
yeah.
use Waspzilla, it would be fine. They would have been like, oh, it's just a child's toy, whatever. Scanned it, it would have been cool. But the ones that I have that I'll give to you are fucking metal, and they feel it's heavy and it feels real, but it's not. It's from Hot Topic.
See, the worst part about it is I want to say the first time I saw Slayer, I went to see Slayer in like '92. So I had on the gauntlets. I had the big set
Yeah,
of gauntlets.
that is such a silly thing to wear to a Slayer concert because oh my god, every time you hit someone, you're hurting yourself, bro.
Well, the worst part about it is one of them I had made. So this thing has studs sticking out of it, probably about that far. And I think I loaned it out for Halloween and never got it back. But I had the bullet belt, leather pants, the
I just watched Lords of Chaos, and that's all I can think of right now when you talk about the spikes and the gauntlets and things is Rory Culkin and his beautiful face in that god awful movie. That movie was so bad, but I love it.
I have not been able to bring myself to watch it because I love the book. I have the book over there, Lords of Chaos. I've watched until the darkness comes or whatever, the documentary, and I haven't been able to bring myself to watch the Lords of Chaos movie yet.
If you are a Rory Culkin fan, then you will enjoy this movie because it's kind of like watching anything Evan Peters does. I could watch him breathe for 2 hours and I'd pay money for it.
So I was in Indianapolis.
If you tell me that you met Evan Peters, I'm probably going to get off of this call right now.
Well, then I'll stop then.
What the fuck, bruh? Oh my god! Do you understand?
It was just passing. It was like because
Hey.
I had bought a booth while I was there, so I was
him.
Huh? Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah, he was in the back where we were cutting through, and I was loading my vehicle up. He was back there hanging out with Maisie Williams, and from Game of Thrones, and it was him. And it took me a minute to realize who it was because you don't think about it when you're just walking by a guy in the back of a convention.
No, you do. When you do, but you're you. So yeah, you didn't think about it. That's okay.
Because I like him in the American Horror Story. I liked him in X-Men, and I didn't pay attention. And I'm literally loading up a van, so I'm just walking past these two, and they're people. And all of a sudden, I realize I'm like. And he's like, "What you doing?" I was like, I bought a bunch of stuff." And he's like, I just wondered why you were cutting through here and blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah. And I was like, I got to get it loaded up my van so that I can get out of here before, he was just asking me while I was there. And I was like, man, then I realized who it was. And I was like, you got to take a break. Because I have to take a break. He goes, there are just too many fucking people. And
I have.
He was cool. I mean, like I said, it was just one of them little couple little things and moved on.
Yeah, those little things. You just move on. You just casually walk by. Now, like when I say that I'm pretty calm about a lot of things, that is one of the things that I would not have been calm about. I probably would. My phone number, I would have given it to him. Those were the words I was trying to find.
But no, he was cool, dude. I mean, I
was. Fuck you for living my dream, dude. I hate you so much now. God bless you.
I had to buy $3,000 worth of comic books to load them up my van that day to go through the back area, but I did. Although I had to ask Maisie Williams how old she was. I'm like, God, how old are you? And I was like, I know you're like almost like an adult, right? And I was like, because you look, I mean, and I think she was 17 at the time. And I was like, that's going to either work for you forever because you're going to be, look young forever, or it's going to work against you because no one's going to be able to take you for more than the little girl. And I was like, I don't mean
Yeah.
rude or nothing, but and I was like, she's like,
That's
no, she was like, kind of worry about that. So
because there's nothing quite like being like continually cast as a child. I get the old "you're got a baby face," but like from the neck down, you can tell that you're an adult thing going for me, and
yep.
I like quite enjoy it.
But she, both of them were in the back, just
Yeah, if
as you said.
I would have known who that was instantly, and I would have been like, "You to load the comic books up on your own because I'm gonna need about 15 minutes alone with him, please."
And the worst part about it is you got to see me. I was trying to load all this shit in the van, and they're just standing out on the dock, just watching me. Like,
Oh my god, I would have bent over to pick so many things up. Oh no, I see a box of comic books again. Let me just bend over and pick them up. Ooh.
the other cool person I met that was really cool was the kid that played Bruce Wayne on the TV show Gotham.
Ah, that's so cool.
It was funny because my buddy went to go meet uh, uh, Captain Jack from why am I drawing a blank on his name from Doctor Who, and they had already cut the line off, and we got there like early, and they're like, no, no more people. So we're
Oh,
standing there, and we're sitting there talking, and the management was like, would you like to talk to, and I was like, yeah. And we're like sitting there talking to him, and he just comes over and starts hanging out with us. And he's like, you
oh,
don't
that's
understand.
cool.
He goes, I'm talking to adults. He goes, all I've been talking to is teenage girls all day. And I was like, oh, that must be hard. He goes, don't get me wrong. Because it's nice. He goes, but it's nice to have a conversation with people that aren't freaking out because they're standing next to me.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
bet that's really annoying.
I couldn't imagine. That would be insane. Just, I mean,
I just tons of I know what I was like as a teenage girl. I was wild as fuck. I mean, granted I couldn't talk to them once I got to them, but like, I mean, beforehand it was like, you know,
a nice, super nice kid. I mean, I'm a
good for him. I
pleasant
hope that
person.
is that nice all the way through adulthood.
Yeah. Because I looked at him, I was like, you know what the worst part about it is I didn't know he was in the TV show with where he played an autistic kid with Kiefer Sutherland. And I didn't realize it until my wife was watching it one day. I was like, hey, it's Bruce Wayne. And she goes, yeah. She goes, I was like, hey, I have an autistic son. I was like, and my wife says, you did a great job on this show portraying someone with autism. And he's like, thank you. He's like, no one ever talks to me about that show. And I was like, you don't understand. I was like, I have a son with autism. I was like, so, you're kicking butt with that. And, he thanked us for talking with him, and we went on our way, but super cool little dude. So,
Oh,
but
that's cool. I'm gonna have to get off here in a couple of minutes because we've been on here for
almost 2 hours. Yeah, I was just getting ready to say
yeah,
the same thing. My wife's probably like, I need to go to bed. I gotta get him go to work.
yeah.
I'm like, I don't have to be at work till 2. And then
Well,
I'm
I
boss.
do
So
for
I
my
do
work.
what I want. I do what I want.
I do have to get off at some
All right.
point.
Well, you have a good night, and it's great talking to you again. When's your movie? When's your movies dropping? You know.
Okay, so let's do that really fast.
Yes.
Just finished Waspzilla and Killer Kong. Um, Brad's pretty quick with like editing and stuff. I don't have a release date though yet. I'll ask him tonight, and then maybe you can like put it in the caption comments or
Yeah,
something.
we
I'm
can
not.
we can do something. Yeah.
Um, and then I have Lust Magic and the Witch's Sabbath, and that is running in Indiegogo right now. I'm going to be getting to work with Ari Lehman, which, if you know who that is,
Yep.
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
Like really freaking, I'm actually way more excited about it than I'm letting on, but I'm like, I'm being cool about it. I think that's going to be filming in August, so I'm really excited. Next month, I have my Donald Farmer movie, which was originally Demon Queen 2, and then now it is Blood Bitch Baby. I'm very excited for that. Um, I don't know if there are any more that are going to be coming out. Crackoon, I'm not sure when that's going to be coming out. Wrestle Massacre 2 will be filming at some point in late summer, early fall. And I get to work with Nadia White, and that's really exciting because like I love her work. I'm really excited to get to watch Curse of the Werewolf. Yeah, I love her. I mean, Shakespeare shitstorm. I mean, she's just the stories that I've heard from other people about like her like how she is on set and how she like is like does like she full sends it, brother. And I love people like that because I'm a full send kind of bitch too. You know, if I do my own stunt work and all that other stuff, even if I don't really quite know what's going on, I'm gonna do it anyway because I want it to look good and I have fun while doing it, even though it hurts the next like week. I have so many bruises on my body from Waspzilla because I did a little bit of my own stunt work. Hold on. Let's see. There's gotta be some more. Oh, wait. This is for your views.
For your views. Dude.
You see that?
Yes. How the hell did you do that?
And then there's a big scratch right there from a tree branch. I feel like there's more. I just don't know. I don't remember where they all are, but this one is like my best. This one is my juiciest. This is my baby. So there's a scene where in the script it says Waspzilla hits Sheriff Callahan with its tail and throws her up against a tree. And I was like, so when I saw it in my head, what I'm imagining is like kind of that scene when Jason puts the bitch in the sleeping bag and it's like,
yep.
You know, and I was like, I want to do that, but I want to do that with my body outside of a sleeping bag. I want it to just right against the tree like a body would if it got a big wasp, you know, but we don't have the cables that they usually attach. There's not, so that, you know, you get the speed of the pool. So I'm raw dogging it. So what we did is I did it so that I like two-stepped in front of Angel. And then as soon as I got done two-stepping, I was like, here's the tree. And I was like this far away from the tree. I literally like caught a little bit of momentum and then I like turned and threw myself into it. So I as hard as I could, broke the prop gun and myself, but I'm sure it looks fan-fucking-tabulous.
Stop hurting yourself.
Listen, I got a talking to from Brad. I got a talking to from Angel. I got a talking to from quite a few people because they were like, that is not good for your body. And I was like, no shit. But like, if we don't do that, then like, what are we going to do?
Well, and art is supposed to be dangerous.
Still hurt.
Yep.
So it's like, I'm either way. Let me just do it. Let me get it done. So yeah, that was really fun. Let's see. What else do I have? Give me just a second because there's quite a bit going on and I'm kind of slow.
All right.
Friday the 13th, The Awakening, the full movie is going to be filming, but I'm not sure when. I think he wants to do it in the fall, where I'm going to be playing Ash Williams, which I'm really excited to get to elaborate more on that character because after doing Deputy Sheriff Callahan, I got to be like really ridiculous and over the top with like a lot of the shit I was doing. He's very obnoxious towards the end. I have a lot of like Rambo moments. It's a lot. So I feel like I'll be really able to channel my inner like Ash. So I'm real excited to get to film that. That has an Indiegogo running right now too, finishing funds. Let's see. Wrestle Massacre 2 does have an Indiegogo as well. Yep. Not to backtrack, but I wanted to make sure to point that out. And I think Crackoon's Indiegogo is finished, but it might not be. It might still be up. Let's see here. Blood Bitch Baby doesn't have an Indiegogo yet. I'm sure Donald will do one though. So yeah, when definitely. He does, yeah, I'll let you know.
I'll ask him on Wednesday.
Yeah. See, I really would. I would ask him because I'm not. He might have already said he was, and I just don't remember because my brain is literally in a billion different places. I think that's it. I have stuff in the works, but like, and like, I would love to talk about it. I'm just not sure if I'm allowed to.
Understandable.
I want to share this with everybody though. Can I turn my camera around? Hmm. I can't. Let's see if I can just. Do you see what I see here?
The sneaky cat.
You see that thing?
Yep.
She's every night she lays there and watches me. Look at her. She knows she's so cute.
Mine is all chill there, and mine is chill there.
Yours just like mine.
Yep.
And that is so cute. I also love that you have a dog named Lulu because my dad has a Frenchie named Lulu. And I like don't remember what he named her after, but I like to say that he named her after the shitty Metallic album with Lou Reed.
That's a horrible album. So no, this one was
Action.
when we got her, her name was Lucy. Well, we already had a cat Lucy, so we had to tweak the name a little bit, and so it was Lulu, and now she answers to Lulu. So it's just still Lucy. Her name's still Lucy, but we call her Lulu. So
That's cute.
and she's my little fat corgi. She's my little fat. So
she's fat. She's not little, that's for sure. Come here. Do you want to show everyone your size? Yes. Here.
Lulu, come here. Come here,
Come
baby.
Come here. Show everyone how large you are. Such a big cat. Oh my God! Just like stop it. That dog is chubby.
This is my baby. He's a rat
Oh,
puppy. Yes, I love you.
very unhappy.
Oh, your breath stinks. Oh, your stinky breath. I am a sucker when it comes to dogs and cats. I turn into such a this is my baby.
Yes, this is my baby right here. This thing. This is it.
Here we go. Hold on. Come here, Maze. Come here, Maisie. Oh,
Daisy, you're about someone
nope,
that
she's
looks
like, nope, not dealing with that. So, all right.
Yeah, this one's pretty passive. Hey, that's my boob. Don't show people that. Quit.
So, well, I got to get going because I can hear my kid tromping up and down the steps.
Yes, go see what the child is doing.
Yes, I got to see what he's getting into, and then I'm going to chill out. This will not probably drop tomorrow because I have an episode that will drop tomorrow. It will drop the next Monday.
Okay.
Tomorrow, ironically enough, will probably be my first episode that I've ever had to put a disclaimer at the beginning of it.
Why? Who is it?
It's me, guy named Dr. Zombo, and a Mikey Severe.
So I think I did a podcast with Dr. Zombo.
Yep. We talk about everything. Nothing was off the table. We talked for 3 hours. And we talk about sex, drugs, rock and roll.
Have to disclaimer it. What the fuck?
You can have a disclaimer. But that's the first one.
We didn't talk about anything juicy enough for there to be a disclaimer. I want another podcast.
Okay, we'll have to have a juicy disclaimer one the next time we have you on.
Abso-fucking-lutely. And I'm gonna make bullet point shit so that I can like really get buddy, you are in for a treat.
We talk about being high, we talk about sex and violence and politics and bullshit and how much we hate politics altogether as a whole. We talk about
I think we did most of that actually.
Yeah. But we get into a little more shit. So
I like my opinions on things minimal because that way people can't
Yeah. So we're
warp them all of their things that they like to do with people in their public opinions and things.
See, that's what we also do is it's nobody's business. If everybody's consenting and everybody's adults, everybody else can fuck off. And that's what we're at. And we are brutal about that. But no, that's the first one.
Consenting and everyone's an adult. I don't give a fuck what you do. Mm-hmm. Do it the fuck away from me though, please.
I give people that I know that come in my shop shit because they're furries. And I'm like, whatever. You're not hurting nobody.
It's like great that you're doing it, but also like it's weird that you're fucking in a fursuit. Do you get sweaty in there? What's it smell like?
I could imagine.
Yeah, I got questions. I got some questions.
See, and I keep those questions to them. They can play with it what they want, whatever. It's all them. But no, we talk about all kinds of shit. But I'm putting a disclaimer. But no, yeah, we're gonna have a disclaimer episode. Me and you, we're gonna talk about every fucking thing. I don't care. So, but All right. I gotta go. You gotta go. You guys take care. Good night. Good night,
Good night
cats.
for having.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime, man. Just give me a heads up and we'll figure out sometime. I even know my schedule is legitimately I have my calendar up here and it's like I am booked till the end of the month because I'm taking next Sunday off because Father's Day and then Monday's my birthday, so I'm taking 2 days
Oh,
off
thank
from
you,
recording
Father.
and yeah,
My dad is really gonna appreciate you for that one.
yeah. So we're relaxing. My family they broke down because I always joke around that I was like Father's Day's the 18th, birthday's the 19th. That's two gifts. There's not one gift that is two gifts.
Yeah, that
So,
is too.
but they did do something really cool for me this year. My whole family got together and they bought me a big smoker. So I have that's gonna show up Tuesday so I can start having
Oh,
a smoker. So
yeah. Are you a grilling dad? Do you like to grill?
I used to. I don't do it as much because I'm not home till almost 8 o'clock at night. So for me, I will prepare everything and I can stick it in there and just walk away for the most part. So that's the goal. But you have a good night. Take care. I'll
You
talk to
too.
you later on and I'll give Derek some shit next time I see him for you.
Yeah, thank you.
So have a good night. See you
You
later.
too. Bye.
Bye.